America, this is not a joke. All these videos and stories you've heard about the ports, this is real. This is Shanghai right now on the National Aquamarine site. Every single circle here in Shanghai is a vessel that's just sitting there. Now let's take a look at America. Here's Los Angeles, one of our busiest ports. Nobody's there. I even looked at Philadelphia and New York. Nothing. Then I thought about Washington State, huge ports. Nothing. Back to China. That's what I'm saying. This is not good. So these articles are not lying. Huge decline at LA Port is a hit to truckers and a stark warning of coming tariff damage? I would say so. Once again, that's LA right now. Nothing. There's nothing there. Even Financial Times from Vision, a data provider, showed container bookings from China to the US fell 45% by mid-April. I don't think they're coming, people. I mean, this is everywhere. Empty ports, empty shelves. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but if you see the amount of circles on this map right here in Shanghai, the world's busiest port, that means they might not be coming. I just want people to know this is real. And we have nothing going on at our ports.
You've probably seen videos like these, and you might be wondering if it's true or if there's more to the story. So today, let's break down what's really going on and whether this could be the start of empty shelves across America.
So people are saying the ports of LA and Seattle are empty.
There are no shipping containers. It is empty.
And saying Trump's tariffs against China.
Here's Los Angeles, one of our busiest ports. Nobody's there.
Mean no ships carrying Chinese goods are docking.
There's no ships right here in the water. You should have seen the ships.
But some are claiming the situation isn't as dire as it might look.
Is the port of Seattle empty of ships and containers? No.
So what's really going on? Take this video of the port in Seattle. It looks deserted, right? But the thing is, this particular area, Terminal 46, has been closed as a cargo terminal for years. So these visuals aren't fake, but they are misleading. And there's a similar issue in LA. These videos make the port look empty.
You should see containers there. There's nothing.
But in both these videos, you're only seeing a sliver of the whole busier port. So we tracked down real-time shipping data for both ports, and you can see cargo ships continuing to arrive from April 23rd to the 30th. So does that mean there's no problem? Well, as usual, it's not quite that simple. Data shows shipping traffic was actually up in the Northwest in the first quarter of the year, and the Port of Seattle itself is downplaying concerns. But importers have been forward buying, stocking up in anticipation of tariffs. And shipping experts quoted by US media suggest traffic is set to slow down substantially in the coming weeks or months. And the Port of LA, the busiest in the Western Hemisphere, is already bracing for slowdowns.
And it's a precipitous drop in volume, with a number of major American retailers stopping all shipments from China based on the tariffs.
And that's led these three CEOs to personally lobby the president, reportedly warning about the possibility of empty shelves soon. It can take around 30 days for ships to make their way from China to LA. That means it could be early to mid-May before we see the real impact of those tariffs
that hit April 9th.
Are Walmart shelves totally empty? Let's go see. I feel like everybody's saying the shelves are empty, the shelves are empty. And if there's one thing about me, I hate fear mongering. So let's go see if it's true.
All right, I'll get to food in a second, but it's also very important to have first aid. Honestly, the over-the-counter pain medicine looks pretty good. For my friends with babies, the formula does not look too shabby. The same with diapers, but I will say the wipes look a little sparse. Dog food is, again, the shelves are fine, but this is pretty empty up at the top where they have the overstock. The cat food section is looking a lot better. The dry food is a little empty up at the top, but as you can see up at the top, they have the overstock for the cat. That's the canned cat food. Juice is super empty, and the aisle with like Capri Suns and stuff was super empty as well. The milk section looks pretty soft, maybe like a little sparse, but nothing crazy. There are definitely some gaps in like the almond milk and stuff like that. The yogurt section is very sparse. There is not a lot. The shelves are pretty empty. Okay, here's the meat section. I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I don't eat meat, so I never come here. It doesn't look super empty to me. Maybe like this is a little empty, the sausages and stuff. And maybe a little bit for the hot dogs, but it's definitely like nothing super crazy. And then let me walk down to the lunch meat. That also, oh no, that is a little bit empty. Not terribly, but definitely some gaps. This looks relatively empty again. This is like chicken breasts and stuff like that. I think the pork looks okay, at least to me. It doesn't look super empty. And then down here to like steaks and beef, definitely a few gaps. The soups and all the ramen is looking pretty good. The tuna and chicken is looking pretty decent. Canned tomatoes and pasta sauce are looking pretty full with a little bit of overstock left on the top. Canned vegetables are not looking too shabby. I don't see any huge gaps anywhere. Dried beans are definitely pretty empty. Rice, kind of the same thing, not looking super great. Actually, honestly, the big bags of rice, like the 10 and 20 pound bags, are completely gone. Flour is not terrible, but definitely some gaps. Peanut butter and jelly looks pretty good. The burger buns and like hot dog buns are a little low, but nothing too bad. And then down further is bread. There are a couple gaps, but honestly, nothing crazy. And then on this side is a coffee. I don't really see any gaps, honestly. It looks pretty full to me. Snack bars are super low. There's like a bunch of gaps. Sugar is getting pretty low and there's nothing on top. On the other side though, the spices look pretty good and there's plenty of overstock. Gatorade is starting to get kind of low. And energy drinks, if you're an energy drink drinker, water doesn't look too bad. For the most part, it is pretty stocked up. On the other side, though, over here where paper plates are, there's hardly any paper plates left.
So you got me one ready? All right. One baby.
So this grocery store I just got to, this one is pretty empty too. Have you guys been grocery shopping lately? Do your grocery stores look like this? Or maybe it's just where I'm at. Let me know. I'm not sure what's going on.
So listen, if y'all think it's a game, when that top shelf, see that top shelf? When that top shelf starts to be bare, that's how you know they don't have a lot of overhead. Okay? So, don't be reactive, be proactive. Just come pick you up a couple of things because this Walmart is not bad. And that top shelf look a fool on this aisle, but the other aisles don't look that bad. But there is a shortage. They're not gonna tell you, but it is. And I'm gonna show you. Don't let these people tell you that it's just a game. That top shelf tells it all. Okay? So give it a week. And when you go in the store, look at the top shelf. If it's empty, okay. Go pick you up a couple of non-perishable items. You know, just some rice, some noodles, you know, a couple of canned goods. Just to be on the safe side. It's better to be prepared than not prepared, okay? Cool.
As you guys know, I live in Seattle, and I'm sure you've heard that the Seattle port, or the Port of Seattle, is empty and no more ships are coming through. And I don't think people are quite realizing what that means. So here, let me show you. So this is the Port of Seattle. This right here. You know what's not there? Ships. It's empty. There's nothing there. It's normally full of ships. See, here's one empty ship and no ships anywhere else. It is completely empty. The ships have stopped coming. It's not even a thing anymore. But you know what is here? Look at this. One lonely cargo ship. You know what's not on that ship? Cargo. It's just parked. What's it called? Flourish Diva. Oh no. Diva down. Diva is not flourishing. Diva is empty. Diva is not moving. Ugh. So yeah, that's the Seattle port. Normally full of ships, none in sight. It's all gone. Baby, they should start calling this port Trump's brain because it is empty. Nothing there. Oh, Diva. So yeah, they're empty, gal. Just like the shelves of America soon will be. I'm not saying that you should start panic buying now, but maybe get that Labubu while you can. Maybe get that toilet paper and stock it up in a closet because it's about to be bare. All right, I love you. Goodbye.
April 29th, 2025. Israelis, y'all. This is the empty shelves they talking about. Crazy. Nothing. It's some stuff. But it's starting, though. It took Trump meeting with Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, and Target to realize that tariffs are going to raise prices and cause empty shelves. And that's what scared him enough to bend the knee and pause the tariffs.
Want to know why the ports are empty? The US dollar is losing its value. That's why. I don't want to hear about fix your credit. I don't want to hear no lies about I made my side hustle, made me $20,000. I make more money on my side hustle than I do doing my regular 9 to 5. I don't want to hear none of that bull. Do you have any eggs? Do you have any cows or goat in your backyard? Do you have any chickens? Right now is the best time to start utilizing our natural instincts. I am so serious right now. If you know how to fish and hunt, you better do it. And if not, you better learn. Don't know how to grow anything? You can buy a little grow kit off of Amazon. Y'all better start doing something. Because the ports are empty and the US dollar is losing its value. And eventually there's going to be famine. That's what it's going to come down to, to survival of the fittest. Either you know how to survive or you don't. Aesthetics don't help you survive, baby. These little neutral colored couches and damn pictures y'all got on the walls and the little tapping of the coffee cups and shit, that's not going to do nothing for you in the next couple of weeks. Y'all better learn how to eat, and you better learn how to hunt, and you better learn how to grow some. And I'm not even going to hold you. If you're going to grow it, you better grow it now, because when it gets summertime, watch that heat be so hot that not even the plants and the fruits will be able to withstand it. I promise you that. The days of living the luxury lifestyle or portraying the lifestyle of luxury are over. It is time to learn how to survive out here in these streets. I'm dead. All right? I am so serious. Get you a bread maker and start making you some bread. That's what you need to be doing, because it's just finna get real.
I'm gonna try to record this. This is like the third time without being interrupted. So I was listening to Hassan Pike this morning about the empty shelves and that the ports are going to be empty coming soon. And he was calling it the tsunami. And he's not joking when he says that. Because if you look at it, once those last cargo ships come, that's it. It's done. Once they get to store shelves, that is it. And the fact that this is being compared worse than COVID is scary as shit. There's going to be so much job loss, not job growth that our Trump keeps on touting. And the fact that the first people that are going to get laid off are your transportation people. So it's going to be like your trucking industry, your FedEx, your UPS, your people that work on the ports laid off. And then eventually people in the automotive industry will be laid off. And then it'll trickle down to your retail and your fast food and restaurants. yeah, dude, this is a scary time. And I'm trying to keep calm in this, but I know the outcome that's going to be probably, because I remember COVID and those grocery store shelves were crazy and the prices were insane. And the fact like we're going to that path, if not worse, is more crazy. I don't know, man. I think this is the turning point, though. The only good outcome of this problem is that you're going to see a lot of Republicans, a lot of Trump voters, and then, of course, all the Democratic Party try to get Trump out, in all honest opinion, because he's going to tank the economy. I mean, there's going to be a ton of job loss, and affordability at the grocery store is not going to be a thing. So with that being said, I think a lot of his supporters are going to be like, I didn't vote for this. I didn't vote for my job to be lost or me be laid off until further notice, or I didn't expect my groceries to be this high, or if not higher, or now I can't get this special item at the grocery store because you don't know when it's going to come in. That kind of thing. And it's going to be a turning point for Trump. It's going to be a thing that's going to implode in his face. And I'm here for it. I think this is going to be the turning point, but at the same time, it's going to do so much damage to us as Americans and the economy. It is going to be so bad. But with that being said, I hope everyone keeps a positive outlook, maybe, or just keep your head on a swivel. And one more thing, can we stop giving Kevin O'Leary, or the guy from Shark Tank, a platform? Because he was just on CNN and he was touting that he loves all these people being poor, that he loves this because it makes them want to try to be the 1%. Like, bro, I don't ever want to be a 1%. Give me enough money, like, I don't know, $500,000, and I'll stretch that shit out until I retire. I don't need to be making millions of dollars. I never wanted that. I don't think any American wants that. And if they do, I would hope they reinvested it in their community. But this dude is like crazy to say that he loves all these people being poor. And people idolize this guy because they want to become the 1%. Dude, I don't know. This world that we live in, this timeline, is so fucked up. All I gotta say is keep your head on a swivel, try to keep positive. Let's hope that we can make it out of this.
My mom called me today and told me that the McDonald's that is near our house offered her chicken strips today. I absolutely loved McDonald's chicken strips. And then they were gone, off the menu, never to be heard of, never to be seen again. They came on the intercom when she went through the drive-thru. They offered her chicken strips and she asked them, "Oh my God, you haven't had these in a long time. What? They're bringing them back for good?" And he said, "Oh, no, I don't know if they're bringing them back for good. Maybe the next 3 months or so." And I stopped her and I said, "Have you noticed that all these videos are talking about the ports are empty? China has all these shipping containers, the US on the LA port, the Seattle port, all the major ports are empty." And he's telling you, maybe we'll have them around for the next 3 months. I'm thinking, maybe all of these companies know something that we don't, that all of this sort of distraction needs to be happening so that people forget that when there's no food on the shelves, we'll just pop into McDonald's and get some chicken strips. You know, they're bringing some items back. Didn't you know they had the chicken strips? So that we are talking about other instead of talking about why are all the ports empty? Why is Vegas empty? Why is there all this market manipulation? Why are all of our secrets on signal? Why are we still having an impeached president, 34 felonies in office? Oh, but you want me to go and buy some chicken strips from McDonald's. Wake up, America. And thank you to my mom. No, I did not get this chicken strips, but I want you to know they're going to bring back something else. And then when the stores have nothing on the shelves, you're going to be like, it's okay. We can just go get whatever that thing is. Wake up now, people.
If you're preparing for the economic impacts of the US-China trade war, you need to prepare for more than just food shortages. I've seen so many people on here say that you need to stockpile as much rice, beans, and canned food as you can. But China only imports 1% of the United States food supply. And while having a stockpile of the foods that you normally eat on a regular basis is a good way to curb spending in other areas when you have to spend more for other products that do come from China, it is not the only thing that you should be prepping for. For example, because of this trade war, I decided that we were going to go ahead and replace our water heater now. Our water heater is about 17 years old, and they should be replaced every 10 years. Now, most people don't, but it's still a good practice, especially when most people don't keep up with the maintenance that you're supposed to do on these water heaters. Now, does China make the water heaters that are used here in the United States? I don't know, but I'm sure some of the components that are used to make water heaters come from China. So when that supply of water heaters that are already here in the United States runs dry, when we get more of those parts or those water heaters from other countries, the price might go up. So by replacing it now, I'm saving myself the headache later because I might be dealing with a lot of different economic issues that aren't related to water heaters, and having to pay an extra price for a new one or for the labor might not be something I can do in this next year. But of course, this is not exclusive to water heaters. Maybe you need to replace a part on your vehicle. Maybe you need to get your HVAC system looked at, or maybe you need to replace your washer or dryer or stove or fridge. Now might be a good time to go ahead and do those things so that you're not worried about it later. Because for most people, this is not going to be an end of the world event. It's just going to suck. You might be paying more for groceries. You might be paying more for shoes and clothes. You might have a spouse that gets laid off. So while you might be worried about how you're going to pay for groceries in the next few months, or how you're going to make your house payment or rent payment, you can already have your vehicle repairs done, or your HVAC repairs done, or even your water heater repair done. It's one part of prepping that people just don't talk about because it's boring. It doesn't have to do with the apocalypse. It's just everyday people things. But I can tell you, as somebody who's about to spend $1,300 on a new water heater, I feel pretty confident that I'd rather spend that money now than have to pay $2,700 later. So just keep that in mind. While food, water, ammo, firearms, and all of the other prepping things that we normally harp on buying is a good idea to have, it's also a good idea to get the things that you use on a daily basis. Who doesn't like a hot shower? Who doesn't like cold air in the summer or hot air in the winter? So while food and water and all the cool guy tactical stuff is part of being a prepper, so is the boring stuff like car repairs, a new washing machine, a new refrigerator, or a new water heater. And guys, the most important thing about preparing is don't hurt yourself later. Don't rack up your credit card because you're afraid of this trade war and empty shelves. If you get yourself in a bad position where you owe money, they're still going to come after you for that money, regardless of what the economy looks like. So don't give them a reason to come looking for you. Make sure that you're paying for stuff in cash. Make sure that you are being responsible with your money right now. This is the time you need to hunker down, save as much as you can, and pay in cash. Anyways, I hope this helped, and as always, stay safe, stay prepared.
Donald Trump, Walmart, empty shelves, China trade war. Yeah, it's getting real. Treasury officials just met with Walmart and other CEOs, warning that if this China trade war doesn't get under control soon, we could see empty shelves across America. Shipping from China is already down 45%. And if this collapse continues and keeps on going, big stores like Walmart and Target, they won't have their usual piles of cheap crap products anymore. But let's get serious right now, all right? This isn't about Donald Trump or a trade war. This is a failure of American companies that sold out American workers decades ago. We stopped making things in America. We let corporations chase cheap labor overseas, built factories in China, and now we're stuck relying on overseas manufacturing for basic necessities. And now that things are crashing, suddenly it's, oh no, empty shelves. Yeah, because They made us dependent in the first place. So here's the real question. Would you be willing to take a little hit at the store today, knowing that in the long run, we could rebuild American manufacturing and get back to American-made products for American citizens? Or are you still chasing that cheap overseas junk? You tell me. Because when we had a strong U.S. manufacturing, America was unstoppable. And the way I see it, bringing it back is the only real way forward. Now, drop a comment below. I want to know, are you dealing with the short-term pain to rebuild American strength? Share this with somebody who needs to hear it, because the only way we can fix this is by waking up people. Let's go.
No, this isn't Biden's economy, and don't let him tell you any different. I know that that might confuse, perplex, absolutely stupefy you guys, especially after we've been explaining to you that those first 2 years of his first term that y'all have been in some kind of dream to get back to was Obama's economy. It might feel like, well, it's fair if it was Obama's economy during his first 2 years, then it's probably Biden's economy now that it's his years again. No, 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 no. Everything that is happening right now is a direct result of the stupid policies that he's been putting into place. And the thing is that we told you guys this. In fact, every economist told you that this is how it was going to be. We've told you that the tariffs across the board were going to be a disaster. They weren't going to reshore manufacturing as you guys hope for. You know, I don't understand why we're hoping for bringing back dead industries, but okay. No, they weren't going to, that's not what's going to happen. We're just going to go through a lot of hell. The economists are saying that if we go into a recession right now, it is one of our own making. It's not one of our own making. It's one of his makings. This is absolutely his economy. The fact that the GDP has shrunk, the fact that the stock market has tanked, the fact that we might be heading for a recession is 100% a direct result of tariffs across the board. And then we're pausing tariffs, and then we're going back with the tariffs, and the tariffs are 145 to 245% with China. And then we've got Trump and oppressor talking about how like maybe the kids at Christmas will only get $2 instead of $30, and maybe those dolls will cost a few dollars more. Like, man, are you serious? First of all, to act as though every kid in America gets 30 dolls, and so, oh, I'm sorry if you have to only get 2 dolls this year, is just absolutely. And then to act like it's just going to cost a few dollars more when economists and Target and Walmart CEOs are talking about empty shelves coming as a possibility of this. And when we have these empty shelves, better not be a single one of you guys out there going, oh, well, I remember this in COVID. This is just like COVID, or we'll get through it. No, this is completely of his making. It is not a global pandemic. When these empty shelves happen, it's because he did it. This is his economy.
So the whole world is warning their citizens about empty shelves. Now it's coming out that America, we got to start worrying about empty shelves. But what about empty pockets? How about that? Because store shelves being empty, what about them empty pockets, okay? People out here ain't got no money, no way. Okay, let them shelves be empty.
You guys are never going to believe what I just saw at the grocery store. So I went to the grocery store to do pickup order, but then I was like, I'm going to walk inside and see, like, you know, what's going on if the shelves empty. And the shelves are pretty good, some parts. But what I noticed, which I thought was super fun, is right when you walk into the grocery store, they were building a display, which is normal, but out of Top Ramen. I should have checked the price too, but I was just like, I've never seen them build like when you walk into the store to see Top Ramen. And the guy was like, oh, we don't have enough beef, so let's just do chicken and shrimp. And I'm thinking, yeah, because there's going to be a beef shortage. There's already a beef shortage. I don't know if I'm just like overthinking it, but I thought putting Top Ramen as an entry point display for a grocery store when it's normally like alcohol or like seasonal food was a little suspect.
The next few weeks is going to get really bad. And you need to know that, because deliveries to the ports, yeah, they're dropping like a stone. Yeah, this whole tariff thing is going to cost thousands of companies to go bankrupt. It's going to cause millions of workers to lose their jobs. And store shelves are going to start, you're going to start seeing them empty in about 2 weeks. That's what's coming. Just so you know. I don't want you to come on TikTok and go, no one told us. What's going on? What's going on is the ships are not coming. The containers are not coming. Trucks with goods are not coming. So when you go to the store and you see aisle after aisle of empty shelves, you're going to know why. Because this whole tariff thing has not been solved at all. And now, from this point on, every week, it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Videos are already starting to circulate about the ports and possible shortages and inflations and all of that. Panic is what happens when you're not prepared. We've had shortages before, but because people panic, that's why you couldn't get your hands on no damn toilet paper. I pulled up AI and I said, I don't care about what all these people saying on the internet. What would you suggest I go get? I'm going to give you 3 budgets. Based off your budget, pick this stuff to go get. And if you think a 3-minute video is too long for you to go get prepared, I don't know what's wrong with you. If you got $50, we're going to call you essentials broke but ready. You're going to spend $30 on food staples and $20 on non-food essentials. Okay, food staples are 5-pound bag of rice, 2-pound bag of dry beans and lentils, 2 boxes of pasta, 1 jar of peanut butter, 1 jar of jelly or honey, 2 cans of vegetables, 2 cans of fruit, 2 cans of super chili, 1 bottle of cooking oil, 1 large bag of oats or box of cereal. You are not focused on name brand right now, so don't come at me about the prices. For your non-food essentials, you're going to need 1 pack of toilet paper, 1 bar of soap, 1 small thing of toothpaste, 1 manual can opener if you don't already have 1 pack of batteries, AA or AAA, whichever you use the most, and 1 case of bottled water. Now, the reality is if you're going to really do what you need to do, you need about $200. But if you have $100, do this. Food staples, 5-pound bag of rice, 2-pound bag of dry beans or lentils, 5-pound bag of flour, 5-pound bag of sugar, 2-pound boxes of pasta, 2 jars of peanut butter, 1 jar of jelly or honey, 2 large cans of vegetables, 2 large cans of fruit, 2 cans chicken or tuna, 1 pound of oats, 1 large container of salt, and 1 bottle of cooking oil. For the non-food essentials, it says 2 rolls of heavy-duty paper towels, 2 packs of toilet paper, that's all you need, 1 large box of trash bags, 1 tube of toothpaste, 1 bar of soap or body wash, and 1 pack of AA or AAA batteries. Then for the extra bonus add-ons, it said 1 bottle of multivitamins, 1 basic first aid kit or refillable supplies, 1 extra phone charger, and 1 manual can opener if you don't already have one. This list builds a backup pantry that can stretch across multiple meals. It covers cooking basics like rice, beans, pasta, blah, blah, blah. It gives you an emergency hygiene supply. It protects you if utility services get more expensive, so you'll need batteries, and it's not wasteful. Everything here is stuff you already use. I found it weird that it didn't add water into that, but I'm just now seeing it says drink water from the tap. Quit being bougie. But for those of you that have an extra $50 or extra $100, it has a booster stock of supply, which does include a case of bottled water per person in the home, the 24 pack, 2 boxes of shelf-stable milk like almond, oat, or dairy cartons, 4 to 6 cans of soup or chili, 1 jar of instant coffee, 2 boxes of macaroni and cheese or instant pasta, 1 large bag of frozen vegetables if you have a freezer space, 1 jar of spaghetti sauce, and then household emergency items. You could do 1 box of laundry detergent or pods, 1 bottle of dish soap, 1 pack of disinfectant wipes or spray, 1 pack of cheap disposable gloves. For health and comfort, you do over-the-counter pain reliever, allergy medicine, 1 pack of cough drops, chapstick, or Vaseline. And then optional bonus items are 1 box of quick snacks like granola bars or crackers, 1 emergency flashlight, even a cheap LED one will work fine, 1 extra gallon of bleach. So basically, if you're in the $100 range, you get the necessities. If you can have $200, then you can get a little bit more comfortable. I know that this is unprecedented, but we didn't know what was going to happen with COVID-19, just like we didn't know what was going to happen with this. I feel like we're going to be just fine. Just prepare. Oh, and one last note for me. Go find your couponers. They're the ones that are going to be overstocked on the stuff that moves fast, like your toilet paper, your soap, your dishwashing liquid, your detergents, all that stuff. You can find them and go ahead and stockpile now before prices go higher.